Hey guys, this is Coach Mike Ryan from the Fastball USA Training Center. And one of the things I want to talk about today is the topic of improvement. And sometimes when people are trying to improve things, what happens is when they start trying to improve, say, 2, 3, 4, 5 things all at one time, they really don't get very good at any of them, right? They see very small improvement or no improvement because they're trying to do too much. So while what we like to do in our approach at Fastball USA is we may identify what we call red flags, which are significant opportunities to improve, as well as yellow flags, which are things that could be better, also an opportunity to improve, and then things that the player is doing well. And those are what we call green flags, and those are basically, hey, you're doing this well, we got to make sure we continue to reinforce this and do this well. So we use what I would call a priority system. Every player has what I would call a red flag, and the red flag is far more important than the yellow in a sense of we'd like to take one thing, even if he's got 3 red flags. We'd like to say, let's take one thing and let's master this. Let's get a lot better at this. Now, it doesn't mean we can't still work on the other stuff. You can still work on a few things at the same time. However, you have to, in my opinion, if you're going to get really good at something, prioritize what you're trying to accomplish. With that prioritization, you know that, okay, if I'm going to prioritize creating a new habit, and that's how we look at this, is you're trying to create a new habit, you're not trying to break a bad habit. What you do know is whatever that one thing is, you need to hit on that every day. And when I say every day, I mean every day. And you need to hit on that, even if it's for 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day. Daily work, prioritizing whatever that main thing is. And what you find is when you start to create consistency behind your practice and you start prioritizing that one thing, what you're going to find is it's a lot easier to approach this like you're trying to create a new habit versus I'm trying to break a bad habit. So how are new habits created? Well, they're created by daily work, by consistency, by doing it on an everyday basis, as opposed to say doing it for 2 hours on Monday and 2 hours on Friday and 2 hours on Sunday, whatever it is. You're breaking it down into small chunks on a daily basis, just a little bit every day over a period of time. Now, we'll see habits change or improve or get created in very small amount of time when people take this approach. Basically, what I'm saying is what you don't want to do, the 2 biggest mistakes I see that get made is, number one, is players try to get better at too many things at one time, and then they don't prioritize any of it. They're treating it equal, right? And then the second mistake is they spend a lot of time on it, and they do it with breaks in between. And the example I gave, if you've spent 2 hours on it and then you don't go back to it for another 2 or 3 days, that's not how new habits are created. Now, in any phase of life, if you're going to create a new habit, the consistency is critical. And the example I would give is if you wanted to create a habit of waking up at 4:30 in the morning every day, you're going to have to set that alarm clock to 4:30 in the morning in the beginning, probably every day for the first, say, 30 or 40 days, right? And then after that, you could pretty much not use that alarm clock, and your body's going to be in a habit of waking up at 4:30 in the morning or quite near it every single day. So it's the consistency, not the intensity, that is the secret. And then the second part is priority. You have to prioritize what you're trying to focus on. And once again, I'm not saying you cannot work on multiple things. You should probably be working on multiple things. But if you had 5 minutes today to get better, and you had 5 minutes tomorrow to get better, what is your priority? Because that's where things start to get lost. People start to get overwhelmed with the task in a sense of, well, I got to do this right, I got to do this right, and I got to do this right. And they're sloppy at all of it. And they think they need a lot of time in a particular day to get better at it, which you probably do if you're approaching it like that. Instead, whatever you're doing, make something the priority, hit on it every day, and let's see what starts to happen when you start to focus on the quality of what you're doing versus the quantity of what you're doing, and also the consistency of what you're doing over the intensity of what you're doing. Those are just small secrets at development and baseball development and improving something, and that will roll over to other aspects also in your life. If you have any questions, let me know. Check out our website at www.fastballusa.com.